And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and rock cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back, hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here, rock cod Rick Maxa. We're in the Mighty 1090 studio with the guys from Seagar Fluorocarbon, Dale Hightower, Brian Evans. Brian's from the factory. He's the head guy around the country here. And, of course, Dale's our man here in Southern California, talking fluorocarbon here on Let's Talk Hookup and giving away the shot.
Dude, I wish you guys could see the bag that these guys brought us of fluoro. It's stuffed full of spools. It is going to, like I said, it's going to last you all year long. Really, really cool. Going to try a lot of different Seagar sizes of pink fluorocarbon. Very, very cool. Prize pack for one lucky caller at the end of the show today. And if you want that to be you, better yet, if you want to call and have your questions answered by Brian, by Dale, get any of this great information, give us a call. We would love to hear from you this morning. 858-457-1090. That's our local phone number if you want to ask a question. Again, 858-457-1090. Or you can reach us toll-free. Our toll-free number is 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090.
All right. Hey, want to mention that we actually we have our Whalers Cove trip a week from Tuesday, right? 10 days away. We actually had one cancellation. One guy got hurt and can't go on the trip, unfortunately. So there is one spot open. You want a last-minute visit to Whalers Cove Lodge with myself, Harold Davis from Davis Boats, and our gang. So trip's been sold out for almost a year. But if you're single, you want to go to Whalers Cove next Tuesday, and you can work out your airline situation. Jump on it.
What a cool opportunity.
Yeah, call Whalers Cove Lodge and grab that spot. WhalersCoveLodge.com. Grab the phone number off of WhalersCoveLodge.com and join us on that one spot while it lasts, if you can. And I also want to mention our good buddy, Dr. Blum. Dr. Bob Blum was on the Searcher, and Art put a great video up on the Searcher blog, searchersportfishing.com. Go to Art's blog, and you'll see a little video of Bob catching a big yellow on the Searcher.
Right on, Bob.
Yeah,
cool.
So way to go, Bob, and he has all the Let's Talk Hookup garb on, too.
So,
speaking of Let's Talk Hookup garb, if you want some of your own the lucky stuff to go fishing with your own Let's Talk Hookup garb, and we have our store online, hookup1090.com, front page, or just go to shop on the top links there, and you can buy all your Let's Talk Hookup garb online there, and they have some new products coming in soon too. You can also have the lucky cedar plug like Ricky likes to troll too.
That's no BS, man. That's our lure. We trolled that Let's Talk Hookup cedar plug on every trip now. It's been our hot jig this year. I like it. That and an X-Wrap 20. Those are the two things that are always in the two corners of the boat every time.
Yeah,
I like it.
For sure. Well, let's go ahead and jump to those jam-packed phone lines.
You got it, man. How about we start it off with Cliff? Cliff's calling us from Lakewood this morning. What up, Cliff? Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing this morning?
Great.
Very good.
Yeah, I have some JB, Jerry Brown 130-pound Spectra, and it's hollow, and I want to put 80-pound on it, but I don't have the Sato crimp. And also, if you're putting in 4 or 5 feet of that 80-pound, is that reusable, or is that like you got to pay the piper for that one?
I think once you insert it into the braid and crimp it, it's dedicated to be used as that leader. So I know it's expensive stuff, but once you get your leader on your deal, it's a done deal. Count it used.
Yep. The easiest thing to do would be the Sato crimp. Very easy to use, but there's also several serving methods, like Brian, you were talking about. You guys serve or tie hitches and stuff like that to secure from the hollow to the fluorocarbon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But
Does anybody do a hollow crimp? I mean, does anybody do the Sato crimp for you?
Several tackle stores will do it.
I know Fisherman's Landing Tackle does.
Fisherman's Landing Tackle will do it for you, but
a lot of your good shops, I would say, would be willing to do a Sato crimp or a similar appropriate connection for you, for sure.
And they'll have the appropriate guys there.
Yeah.
Check your local tackle store. the most likely they will do.
And I would say, that's one of those things. You want to make sure that you go to a shop that does that kind of stuff. I'm sure a lot of stores would be willing to do a connection for you, but if it's your big tackle, it's your big gear, and with what's going on right now, if you were wanting to put that on, you don't want to try and catch one of those big bluefins like we were talking about the Pacific Queen. Fish that big put connections to a different test than average size fish does. So you could be trolling 80-pound, and you could catch, a season's worth of 25-pound tuna and never stress that connection. But when you're talking 180-pounder on the rail, doing circles around the boat with the maximum amount of drag pressure, it's a whole nother level. So I would say if you're going to target one of those giant ones right now, make sure your connection is done by a shop that specializes in that type of fishing. And there's a lot of great ones around. So I'm not saying it needs to come down to San Diego. Make sure it's just one that does that kind of gear right.
Right. And Brian, has Seagull ever considered doing pre-made wind-on leaders?
We have. It's something that we're looking into. However, it's a lot of manpower, time to do the connections.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
So that's the thing.
And you don't want to make connections that aren't right, too.
Yeah,
exactly.
When you make the connections, you got to... That's why I like making my own. Yeah. That's why I like that Sato. And it's like, it's just like, it's right? Even, because you start mass production and stuff like that. There can be failures, right?
Yeah, I think you can go to Gary's website, and he has a list of the dealers, I think, in Southern California that stock his product.
Right, Sato, Crimp, and Winder.
Yeah, and I think if you go there to any of those stores, if they carry it, they know how to use it, and, I think that's your best method.
They'll teach you how to use it, or you can go on our YouTube channel and learn it from the man himself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right, let's jump right back into the phones. This time we're going to talk to Gus. Gus calling from Burbank. What up, Gus? How you doing this morning?
Yo, Rick. Yo, Pete. Yo, Dale. Yo, Brian.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Yo.
Hey, yesterday I purchased, amongst other things, some Seaguar Pink Label. And I'm wondering, for casting iron, I also bought a new Terramar J90.
Nice.
And a Trinidad 28.
Oh, it's a perfect outfit.
Man, you got it right, Gus.
Yeah, I wanted to get it right this time. I've tried the other way. Anyhow, I'm just wondering when throwing iron and connecting to the red the Power Pro, should I? What kind of leader material should I use? Should I use that pink fluoro?
I think the pink would be great for that. If you've got.
How much?
Well, I mean, I'd probably only put like 3 or 4 feet on it. You got a long jig stick, so you don't really. Yeah. I always want that knot outside the tip. When I'm throwing jigs on braid, and so I think the pink label would be a great choice, and probably 3 or 4 feet of it using the RP/John Collins knot.
Yeah, and just make it like Dale said, just make sure that knot's outside of the tip, just outside the tip, whatever your level of cast is there, and you're in. There you go, Gus. Good luck. Way to go with the right gear there for throwing the surface iron. Go catch a big one. Thanks a lot for the call.
Tom in Temecula, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Tom, good morning.
Morning, guys.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, first of all, a little fish report. It's truly been an interesting year out on the water. I was out Tuesday with a friend, and we got a couple of Dorado there that were just incredible. It's like these were 30 plus pounds. One on trolled X-Wrap, and the other one was on bait. But incredible grade of fish. I was just truly amazed.
Nice to see Dorado in our local waters here. Kind of a unique situation, thanks to El Nino.
Yeah, these are not little peanuts. I guess there are some smaller ones around, but certainly didn't see them that day. Anyway, my previous question has been answered on tying various different line weight fluoros to mono. I use a surgeon's knot, and that thing has just never failed me. I know it's confidence, and so until that thing fails, I'm probably not going to go anywhere else on that knot. So anyway, thank you for a great show again, Pete, and going to be interesting to see what's ahead of us this season.
Yes, it is. We have all of August ahead of us. It's only August 2nd. We have a great August, September, October to look forward to. 3 months, I think, of just fabulous.
I agree. Do you remember how good that fishing was in the fall?
Oh.
And it just feels like the stage is so set. We heard Captain Mike from the Tribute talk about it earlier with the wahoo that are already being. I mean, there's already been wahoo caught within 120 miles of San Diego, and already the rumor mill's flying about the. Somebody hooked one and busted it off on the 302 and all the stories, that go along with it. I think we're just in for an awesome one.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, too, because we're going to have to turn right instead of left.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Go up the coast.
My favorite part about the wahoo rumors is Captain Ryan Boston said it best last year, that as soon as there was officially a wahoo caught in local waters, every single failed knot, busted line in a tangle, Dorado chew-off, everything that didn't come back with a hook was a wahoo bite-off. Oh, man, I had one on, but he came on. Must have been a wahoo.
Yeah, must have been. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
All right, how about next up, we talked to Ron. Ron's calling us from San Diego this morning. Hi, Ron. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. I got a question for Dale.
All right.
The question I want is, I know monofilament, you can't store it in a warm place. Does fluorocarbon have the same thing?
I would say fluorocarbons, heat is not a friend of fluorocarbon, just like monofilament. So I would say treat your fluorocarbon like you would treat monofilament. Keep it in a cool, dry environment. It's not affected by chemicals or UV light or any of that. But heat's definitely not a friend of fluorocarbon. So
what about how cold? I mean, can you put it in your refrigerator or you just?
Yeah, I just think if you keep it in your garage, as long as your garage doesn't get 150 degrees.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
My garage gets hot.
Yeah.
Am I better off putting it in the refrigerator?
No.
Not necessarily.
No.
Just store it in a
closet.
Yeah.
The beauty of it is, I think if you treated it the same as mono, you're going to be fine because it definitely has much better shelf life than monofilament does. So if you treated it the same way that you treat your mono, it's going to last.
Fine. Yeah. And what about sunlight? We've talked about that before.
Yeah, it's completely impervious to sunlight. Yeah, so it's total UV exposure is awesome. So, which is one of the great things. I mean, I always tell people about, and this isn't a dig on monofilament because we do make monofilament, but monofilament.
Good monofilament.
Yeah, monofilament. That's our Senchi, by the way.
Yeah.
Monofilament's affected by UV light, ozone, chemicals. Fluorocarbon isn't affected by any of those. So. Exposure to the sunlight, especially if it's been in a shop, and obviously Seaguar turns pretty good on the retailer shelf. So, but when you're getting a spool of Seaguar, that you're getting it almost like it was the day it was made.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's the beautiful part. Monofilament, if it had been sitting in a warehouse for a long time, if it had been sitting in a shop in the back storage room, you never know how old monofilament is, and it definitely is affected by ozone and UV light, fluorescent lights in shops. So I wouldn't say monofilament's as good as the day it was made when you buy it, but with Seaguar fluorocarbon, I can almost promise you that.
Brian, when the fishing is as good as it is, it must be very, very difficult to keep things supplied.
We do our best to keep everything supplied.
You guys do a good job.
Really work hard at forecasting and working with the mass retailers to understand what they need and when they're going to need it so that we can ensure we've got stock.
I'd like to comment on that for sure from working in a tackle shop. Seaguar, by a huge margin, is the very best at it. I mean, it's there's no denying. We see it all the time with stuff. When the fishing season gets going, things run out. It's just how it works. Seaguar is it's probably the only darn near line that we carry. I don't mean like fishing line. I mean like line of product that we carry that is just, you guys are never out of it. There is never a time when we're out of 25 or 40-pound fluorocarbon, which is what moves the most in the tackle store. And if we are out, it's because we ran out, and we can call Jason, in an emergency. Jason, I need some fluorocarbon, and it's there in a couple of days. I mean, you guys are the very best at it.
And we appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. Hey, with that, it's time to find out what's going on in the water. It's time for our FishDope.com report by the man, your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen. Today, the Catch Port, sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Diego. Summer fishing means it's time to call Fisherman's Processing. And if you're on a private boat, call them the day before you go to make arrangements to drop off your fish, because if you go with Dave, you're going to have a lot of fish that you have to deal with, and nobody wants to cut those things in the water. They have an after-hours drop bin where you can get a tag and a lock combo to put your fish directly into their slush bins. You can friend them on Facebook at Fisherman's Processing, and for more information, check fishermansprocessing.com. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Dave, your ears must have been burning last night because we were at a friend's birthday party. Happy birthday, Mary Francella from Poway Valley Collision. Happy birthday, Mary. And Pete Grossbeck was talking about fishing with Captain Dave, man, and how what a great day you had.
Yeah, we got lucky the other day. We had Mr. Grossbeck on the boat with us, and I'll tell you what, that guy never, ever comes out of the gyros.
He's the man.
From the second you can see, and literally we were out there before it got light, and he's like, I can see now, I'm going up on the roof. I'm like, really? I can't even see. But whatever, he got up on the roof and he started looking, and we got lucky. We found a little spot of puddlers. You know, the fish hadn't been biting at all, really. And he found me a little spot of puddlers, and we slid in there and brailed a bunch of bait on it. And for his boss and his son and a couple of their buddies, they ended up getting 18 tuna in about 15 minutes.
That's so rad. Right on, Dave. Nice job.
It was wild. But, guys, once again, we're going to reiterate the fact that you can throw the history books in the trash. Nobody really knows exactly why this is happening or what's going on. But here comes the local wahoo are starting to come up inside of San Martin, or above San Martin Island. They're already catching some wahoo. I got off the phone with Jimmy Kingsmill last night right before I went to bed. A phenomenal amount of marlin up there on the inside of Santa Barbara Island. He said it's a big school of marlin up in there. Here, it's only, the 1st of August, and here we are talking about marlin in Santa Barbara. Come on, you guys, this is crazy. The tuna fishing, it's going to snap right back. There's tuna everywhere, guys. There's not really a spot. They're just everywhere. You just got to get lucky. The last few days, everybody that's been getting some big scores, it's been on what we call puddlers, which is like 2 or 3 fish just breaking the surface of the water. You really got to pay attention to the water, guys, and watch it. There's no birds on this puddling fish. There's no sign. All of a sudden, there's 2 or 3 fish break the water. You slide in there, you throw some bait, and bam, you're hooked up. Doesn't make any sense. It's not what we've been historically looking at, but this is what the big scores have been coming off of puddling fish. All the kelp patties inside of 20 miles to the beach from, say, L.A. all the way down to San Martin Island have Dorado on them now, and it's that quality Dorado. It's that 15 to 20-pound Dorado like I told my guys yesterday. They go, we only caught 2 Dorado, Dave. I go, we're in Dana Point. We're
not in the East Cape, right?
Come on, man. We caught 2 20-pound Dorado yesterday at Dana Point. We were out for a total of 4 hours.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, guys. You have to go fishing. You just have to get out on a boat and go. If it's a sport boat or private boat, the one thing I can tell you, and I tell these people all the time, stop fishing for boats. I watch guys drive by fish all day yesterday to get to me. Why do you want to come watch me kill stuff?
Well, because you're Dave Hansen. That's why.
Okay.
I mean, people just want to watch you.
You're our saltwater guide, man.
I guess so, because it was amazing yesterday. I just watched them drive by kelp patties, breaking fish just to get snuggled up next to me.
And then they catch nothing because all the fish are under you.
Right, they get to watch, though. I guess it's like better than watching TV.
Absolutely. Well, of course, if you want to watch for sure and find out where the fish are, fishdope.com is your source. Dave Hansen reports on there. Mark and the gang all report on the latest conditions, and they give it up. That's the cool thing about these guys. They give it up on fishdope.com. You can save $20 on a new membership to fishdope.com. Use the code HOOKUPNOW. Lowercase, no space. HOOKUPNOW saves you $20 on a new membership to fishdope.com. And how do we find you, Dave?
Well, you guys can look me up on the web at yoursaltwaterguide.com, or you can give me a call at 949-374-0786. And guys, now my boss just opened up his boat for charters, like we took Pete and his boss out the other day. So I have access to a 65-foot Hatteras that holds 20 scoops of bait for charters. So if you guys want to go do something like that with me, I'm in.
Yeah, that's probably like $500 a day, right?
Yeah, like something like that times about 10.
Okay. All right. All right,
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for that, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you next Sunday. Have a great week.
One of a kind, man.
One of a kind. Thank God.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Phone lines are packed up. We're going to be answering your Seaguar questions. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Are you feeling that itch to get out on the water? Come fishing on the American Angler and reacquaint yourself with some familiar faces and make new friends. Captain owners Brian Kiyohara and Sam Patella take pride in every aspect of the American Angler operation, from their loyal and trusted crew to the sashimi-grade fresh fish you'll take home. It's easy to find a vacation that fits your schedule. We have everything from day-and-a-half to 10-day trips and longer. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. We want you to become a part of the American Angler family.
My Angler H2O. I will never use that fakey fluorescent pink bait or drag my hula popper through the mud. I will outmaneuver drought-exposed stumps, rocks, and submerged station wagons, and outsmart the ravenous river otter. I will save water by taking shorter showers for higher lakes, and I will always, always wear my life jacket.
What's your H2O? Tell us at BoatCalifornia.com. The California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways reminds you to wear it, California.
Captains Mark Gillette and Chris Switzer want you to know now is the time to book your trips and charters aboard the Eclipse and Commander. The newest addition to their family, the 65-foot Commander, is a super clean vessel that is low to the water, with RSW fish hold and spacious galley. Perfect for 1 to 2 day trips from Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Come experience superior customer service, the finest fish handling, and quality food aboard the Commander. The same great service that has made the Eclipse one of the top boats in the fleet. Their slogan, "Compromise Elsewhere," says it all. The Eclipse is the widest sport fisher in her class, offering plenty of room at the rail. The Eclipse from Seaforth Sport Fishing sets the standard in quality and style for your offshore trip from 1 to 3 days. Charters and open party trips are available now aboard the Commander, and a limited number of charters are available aboard the Eclipse. To secure your spot, call Eclipse Commander Sport Fishing at 619-995-6880 or book online at EclipseSportFishing.com or CommanderSportFishing.com. What a tuna and yellowtail season last year. Many say the best in 30 years. Could this season be even better? Don't be caught without the right gear. Now is the time to stock up on the trolling lure that proved to be the best. X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Every X-Rap Magnum runs perfect right out of the box. They all have extreme action and a controlled deep diving aggressive swimming motion. The large diving lip partners with premium BMC hooks and an irresistible rattle. The X-Rap Magnum by Rapala can be trolled at high speeds without rolling or kicking out at depths to 15 feet. Bottom line, the X-Rap Magnum is the ultimate trolling lure for Southern California and Baja saltwater fishing. With a textured translucent body, internal holographic foil, and 3D holographic eye, X-Rap Magnums are irresistible to saltwater game fish. Available in a variety of colors and sizes. No matter what you choose, the fish can't resist X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Ask your local tackle dealer which is the hottest color and size and start catching more fish. See the entire line at Rapala.com.
Cast Tours is a family-owned and operated travel company that specializes in taking you to great fishing destinations. They take pride in providing the best and most affordable vacation packages available. For over 20 years, Cast Tours has been creating unique sport fishing and vacation trips. Whether it's a fishing trip, a family vacation, or an adventure, they will provide you the service and value you deserve. Call Cast Tours at 800-593-6510 or check casttours.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Hey, we have the guys from Seaguar here, Dale Hightower, and talking a little. It's interesting to contrast the southern fishing that Brian's talking about. Brian Evans from Seaguar, the national representative for Seaguar. I asked him, I said, well, do you have that problem with, like, guys poaching your spot? He goes, no, right?
Not really. We're fortunate, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's like here, it's like Dave was talking about. It's like, find your own fish.
You kind of chuckle about it when you hear, Dave talk about it because he's Dave. But I mean, it is the case. I mean, it is just crazy that you can be stopped on a spot of fish, whatever it might be. Maybe you're on a kelp. Maybe you stopped on a spot, and you just see a boat just charging in, like, oh, those guys are stopped. I'm going to go right there. It's like, I mean, we got stopped. Like, now you go get stopped somewhere else. Like,
Go find your own.
Yeah, we're going to deal with these ones.
Yeah,
Pretty
go
crazy.
get your own set of Fraser gyros.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, these gyros weren't cheap, man.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and jump into the phone.
You got it, man. Well, they really are packed up. We're going to talk to Tom, calling us from San Diego this morning. Good morning, Tom. Welcome to the show.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. Little fishing report. Yesterday on the Impulse out of Dana Landing, went out with Rick from, your financial sport fishing.
Yeah, Sport Fishing Financial. You better get the name right if you're going fishing with them.
Yeah, I better get that right. Yeah, I'll work on that. Anyhow, we had a good time. We caught a little bit of everything. Some smaller yellowfin, football size up to maybe 15, some 15 to 20 pound, maybe even a little bigger Dorado, and a couple of yellowtail that were 18 to 25. So we had a little good time out there.
Yeah, you got the smorgasbord.
That's right. I got off the schneid finally.
And what did you think of the Impulse out of Dana Landing?
Well, I'm very impressed with that boat. I was lucky last year to go on a 43-foot Bertram out of Cabo during the Bisbee, and this is a 42-foot Bertram, and those are very nice boats.
Solid.
We had a young captain, a young deckhand, both very good. Both drove hard. We got in front of a couple schools of bluefin, and they just weren't having anything to do with us. But we saw several jumping, and you know how frustrating that can be. But, hey, we had a good time picking off the other stuff.
There you go.
That's
All
great,
right, well,
Tom.
thanks
Nice
for the
going.
reports. Going fishing with Rick and Sport Fishing Financial. That's cool. So you must be investing lots of bucks with them. So good for you. Thanks a lot, Tom, for the call this morning.
All right, how about next up we talk to Tony. Tony's calling us from Carlsbad this morning. Hi, Tony. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, Tony.
Hey, I just had a quick question about leader tactics at Seaguar. First of all, thank you guys. Awesome product. I use that on every rig, from my spotty rig to my tuna rig. But last couple of days, we've been getting on some punker bites, kind of like all season, and I've been experimenting and throwing chunks out, and actually been getting hit on the chunk really well. But I found you kind of need the right bait. Some don't sink, some kind of float. Do you think I should change my leader? I'm a creature of habit. I use, a 3-4 foot leader that's Seaguar every time. Is that a situation where I should maybe throw like a, 15, 20 foot leader on to get that bait down a little bit more? I just never fish chunks. I don't really know the tactics of that.
Yeah, the chunk fishing, which I got to experience for the first time last February on the Rooster, it's a different technique. There's guys that hate it because it's not the most exciting type of fishing, and then there's guys that absolutely love it. When we were on the New Land, that's what they were chumming with, chunks.
Just chunks.
The trick to chunking is staying ahead and getting line off that reel so there's no drag on the chunk. So you can imagine when you're throwing chunks over it, when you're chumming, that those things are naturally going with the current and sinking.
You want the chunk on your line to go at the same
speed. I kind of relate it as nymph fishing for trout. You want it to go the same speed as the current.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I know guys like a little bit longer leader for doing that. I know some guys will do, it gets back to the mono. Some guys like the mono, like 100 feet of mono, and then they tie their fluorocarbon onto that. They like the way the mono sinks for the chunking. Ben Keto was on our boat, who's got 4 big ass tuna on the deal, and he does the braid to fluoro, and I think he uses a swivel in between because there's a twisting effect of the chunk. A lot of guys will put that swivel on the hook. I think he did it between the braid and fluoro connection. So that chunking is a science in itself. But I think the number one trick is that you got to keep peeling line off the reel so that chunk is going the same speed as the current. And it's not a long drift. Like, you're not doing a soak out at 100 yards or 200 yards with it. It's quick, a couple minutes?
Yeah.
But if you're
great advice, man. Everything
going to be spread out, right?
Right. Yeah. You got to, if you don't get bit in a couple of minutes, you need to start the drift again.
Chunking is one of those things where stealth is a lot of it. So fluorocarbon, they're not chasing a bait down and, fish is swimming 100 miles an hour trying to catch up to the sardine, eat it, and on to the next. It's 2 or 3 lazy fish that are down below swimming and looking at those chunks that are falling that are going real slow. So that's one time where the less visible properties of fluorocarbon probably makes a huge difference. And you want to be as stealthy as you can. You want to try and completely get your hook inside of the chunk. I like to basically pin my chunk on and just kind of bend it around the hook and just even kind of push it up so that the knot is just kind of inside the chunk so that you can get as little of the hook exposed as possible and throw 2 or 3. And if you're on a private boat, I like to put the rod in the rod holder in free spool with clicker on and basically pull the line from the rod tip rather than just, hold your arm under your arm and pull line from the reel.
Good advice. Now, Brian, you guys do a lot of chunking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what you were saying is what we do. We'll stick it in the rod holder and just peel line off and make sure it's going with the same flow that the tide or the boat, the current's moving.
What do you catch chunking in Louisiana?
Yellowfin.
Yellowfin.
Big yellowfin.
Big yellowfin. Okay.
100 pounds up.
Okay. No kidding. Do you guys use live bait there?
We'll use live bait, and depending on if you can catch it, if you can't, we'll cut up bonita and chunk with it.
Chunking more effective for you guys than live bait?
Live bait works better.
It works better, okay.
But if you can't, if the pogies aren't there, you can chunk.
You were talking about fishing behind shrimp boats, and that's kind of like they're chunking for you, right?
Absolutely. It's drawing a lot of attention, but it can be some turbulent water, so you really have to be careful what you're doing when you do that. But you can catch some very big fish.
Do you guys have, like, sport fishing boats like we do, or do you just mostly private boat fishing?
Private boat, charter boats.
Charter boats, yeah.
They're not big 100-foot, 110-foot boats.
You don't have 30 guys on a boat? Or
no, these are 30 to 40-foot boats with a 6-pack. 6 guys.
Okay, all right.
Plus a deckhand and captain.
There you go. All right. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Hey, want to remind you, Saturday is the big day at Dana Landing in Mission Bay. It's our next San Diego County Ford dealer live remote broadcast from Dana Landing right there in Mission Bay. It's Saturday, August 8th, which is this coming Saturday from 7 to 9 a.m. It's going to be our third of 4 Shimano San Diego County Ford Dealer casting contests. Your chance to win and qualify for the big grand prize, which is a trip for one to Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska, including round-trip ticket from San Diego to Sitka on Alaska Airlines, 4 nights lodging at Kingfisher Charters, 3 days of fishing, and your fish processing, the whole deal there. And you can win a trip on the Blackjack, which is that great 4-pack out of Dana Landing. We're going to give away Shimano rods and reels, Mary Jim gift cards, AFCO clothing package. Nice. Whether you make the cast or not, everybody that comes and fills out one of the register to win coupons at the end of the broadcast, we're going to draw from one qualifier to make in our 8 qualifiers for that trip to Kingfisher Charters on Alaska Airlines. And Gary, the prize cowboy, is going to be there. You're going to have a chance to win something just for showing up. It's going to be a great event. I know Steve's got a big sale going on down there. Johnny's marking down prices like crazy. They're going to have a big sale. They're going to have some of the representatives there hanging out at Dana Landing for the big broadcast. Ron Lane from Fast Lane Kayaks is going to be there demoing some of the pro anglers right on the dock at Dana Landing, and Ron will be hanging out answering questions about Hobie kayaks and more. So come on down. It's Saturday, this coming Saturday at Dana Landing in Mission Bay. Come on down and have a chance to win a trip to Kingfisher Charters on Alaska Airlines. All right. How about that?
It's going to be a fun day. And, it's a really cool event. We've got great weather. It's just going to be gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, it's always fun.
Well, the phones are definitely packed up. We're going to jump back into them. Don in Woodland Hills, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Don, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Hey, guys. Good morning, Pete, Rick, Dale, Brian. Thanks for taking my call.
Morning.
Absolutely love your product. Saw firsthand the benefit of the abrasion resistance of your fluorocarbon on a 32-pound bluefin. Got it to the deck, and as I was checking the line, it seemed like it was almost stripped halfway through the thickness, and was still able to get the fish to the boat. So thank you very much for that.
Awesome. Had that been on monofilament?
Later. Nope.
Yep. How do you measure or how do you look at abrasion resistance as you develop your formulas on your products?
Good question. In Japan, where they make the product, they've got some tests that they run for testing abrasion resistance. Same thing with tensile strength and shear strength, knot strength. I can't really go into too many details on that, but they do test for the quality of abrasion resistant on those lines.
It's proprietary.
Yeah, well, correct. And one thing about abrasion resistance that I always try to remind people is diameter has a lot to do with it. So the smaller diameter line you have, the less abrasion, you have less surface area. So, keep that in mind. So obviously when you're fishing around structure, fishing a really small diameter, even if it's fluorocarbon, you're still not going to be as good off as fishing the next size up. And, with the two, our two top products in the saltwater market, which would be, Flora Premier and Blue Label. We talked about it earlier in the show. If it was sheer abrasion resistance you want, Blue Label's got a harder surface on it, and it's probably our most abrasion-resistant product of those two.
Okay, very good. That's you want the super strength. Blue Label is Cigar Blue Label.
Abrasion resistance.
Abrasion
right.
resistance. Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Doug in Montebello, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Doug.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that bluefin fillet regulation. When is the Department of Fish and Wildlife really going to enforce it? Are they going to go out to the boat and check you out, or are they going to wait till you get back to the dock?
Right now, it is in law. It is the law right now, and they can check you at any time. But most likely, it would be at the dock because you don't have to have the fish filleted or not until if you fillet the fish and you're offshore and they stop you and you have the wrong fillet type. Which means all the regulations that they have, all the fish, one fish per bag, all that, and they'd stop you in the mid-water and you don't have it, then they're going to give you a ticket right there.
Yeah, I mean, all the above is definitely the answer. I mean, they do enforcements on the water. They probably do more enforcements at the dock, but either of the two are definitely, scenarios.
And it doesn't just count for bluefin. It's all tuna.
Correct.
No
That's
matter
a good point,
what.
dude. That's a very good point.
Yellowfin, bluefin, albacore, skipjack.
Yeah.
What else could we catch here that's a tuna?
That's probably
about
what we're going to
catch. That covers them all.
I mean, you included albacore for some reason. I don't think we even need to worry about albacore. I don't even remember what one of those things look like, but maybe someday we'll catch them again. It could. Big eye. There you go. Catch a big eye.
Big eye. We knew it was missing one. All right, Doug. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
How about Dennis calling from Norwalk? Good morning, Dennis. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Guy. I would just have a question for your guest there, please. When you wind down your leader, let's say a fluorocarbon, let's say 60 pound, and you're backing your main line is 80 pound. What advantage do you have?
Of fishing 80-pound braid with 60-pound fluorocarbon?
Yeah.
Well, I think the advantage of the braid is it's smaller in diameter than the 60-pound fluorocarbon. So if you have a short, let's say 4 to 6 foot leader of fluorocarbon that's 60 pound and 80 pound braid behind it, the bait's going to swim better because there's less surface drag with that braid in the water. So the advantage from a sheer presentation standpoint is your bait's going to swim better, dragging less surface area behind it. I think that then the big deal is there's very low stretch in that combination, and that with the right reel combination on that, you can definitely put a lot of pressure on a fish.
And a lot of line on the reel.
And a lot
more line on the reel. Now, one thing we haven't talked about, one of the great properties of fluorocarbon is that it sinks.
It does sink.
And that is an important factor sometimes when you're fly lining baits, right?
Yeah, I believe it's one of the super secret parts of fluorocarbon is that it doesn't float, whereas monofilament has air bubbles in it. So monofilament kind of retards the way a bait swims. And since fluorocarbon's denser than water, when you cast out, your leader's already sinking, so the bait's not having to pull that line down in the water column. So I couldn't tell you if it gets a couple feet deeper on a drift or not, but it doesn't retard the bait either from swimming. So the leader's sinking in the water column, and the bait's not having to pull it down. So I'm assuming the bait's going to swim better by that standpoint.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. I want to draw your attention to Western Outdoor News, always loaded with just great information. This week they have a full insert on the Los Cabos Tuna Jackpot Tournament coming up for them in November. The big Yamaha Outboard-sponsored tournament, $700,000 in cash and prizes, and lots of pictures of big tuna on there, too. There's one, we talked spearfishing yesterday. There's a great picture of a giant tuna with a guy that speared it, too, on there on the front page of Western Outdoor News. So check that out, this week's edition of Western Outdoor News. And it was really nice to hear all the compliments from our guys from Gannett Dive Company yesterday. Got a lot of positive comments about doing it. It was kind of a shot in the dark. We did a spearfishing show yesterday and a blue water spearfishing show, and guys loved it.
Yeah.
People thought it was very interesting, including Captain Jack Nielsen. said,
cool.
Nice show. He liked it. So thanks for the comments on that show, and we're going to do it again because of your positive comments that obviously there's a lot of interest in free diving for big fish. So.
I had the same thing. I had several guys come to the shop yesterday and be like, man, I really like that. It's something I've never done. I've always wanted to, or at least wanted to hear about it. And one guy said, it's funny. I've always wanted to do that. And after hearing that show, I definitely don't want to do that. That's too much. That's too much for me. But I really enjoyed hearing about it. Heard everything. I thought it was cool. I love stuff like that.
Thanks to the guys from
they did a great job.
Dive. They're very obviously experts at it.
And they make really nice gear.
Cool
I wish you guys could have seen the stuff that they brought into the studio because it's beautiful.
Look
it
up on their
awesome
website.
work. For sure.
It's cool stuff.
Hey, let's jump back into the phones. We're going to talk to Larry, who's calling us from Indio this morning. Good morning, Larry. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Great, Larry. Good morning.
You a first-time caller, Larry?
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller. I'm stuck out in the middle of this desert. It's really a pleasure to be able to hear you on TuneIn Radio.
All right, very good. Tuned in radio, indeed. That's one of the many methods you can listen online.
Yeah, I looked out and found it by accident. I can't get you on my regular radio, but I found some app and picked you up. I've been listening to you every weekend. Really great information.
Fantastic.
That's awesome, Larry.
That's good. Appreciate that. All right.
You guys, I had some questions on the fluorocarbon, but my gosh, you've had such great callers. They've covered everything I could possibly imagine. It's you got me so pumped up. I'm ready to jump in the car and drive to San Diego and go fishing right now.
Let's on down here,
Perfect.
bro. It's time.
Hey, Larry.
I'm going out Thursday on the Pacific Star, and I got a couple other trips planned on the, I guess the Shogun later. And just listen to your show just gets you jacked and want to go, especially with the great fishing.
Well, that's nice of you there. I'm glad you found us, Larry. Thanks for being a first-time caller with us, and please join us again, and good luck on your trips. Thanks for calling us in here. Yeah, sometimes, the Mighty 1090 signal gets blocked by the big mountains going east. We cover all the way up and down the coast very, very well. The Santa Barbara, even Paso Robles sometime. Carol Davis tells me you can hear it all the way up there. But going inland sometimes, the signal gets blocked by the mountains. But it's easy to listen to anywhere in the world. Larry said tuned in radio. You can always tune into it on there. The other thing, too, is you can go right to the Mighty 1090 app. You can download the app on your iPhone, on your Droid device, and listen right on the app on your cell phone. You can listen on the link on our front page of our website, hookup1090.com. You can click right on the Listen Live link. That takes you right to the Mighty 1090 Listen Live app, and you can listen anytime you want.
That's pretty darn cool. Hey, phone lines are packed. We're going to next up talk to Jerry. He's calling us from Garden Grove this morning. Hi, Jerry. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hello. Good morning, guys. I have two quick things. I don't put a line in the water unless I have at least 3 foot, seagar. Plus, I do it all the day before on my fluorocarbons on my reel, so when I get on the boat, I could have a cold one and just have hooks. But what I'm wondering, does it make a big difference with trolling feathers to use regular mono to fluorocarbon on my trolling setups?
Yeah, I still like fluorocarbon for trolling. It's, for lots of reasons. The abrasion resistance, number one. You never know if you're trolling. You might hook a billfish. I heard there's a couple around. That abrasion resistance is always one. And, a lot of times, too, it's just that the durability and long-term durability of fluorocarbon. So if you rig trolling feathers with fluorocarbon and you've had them for a year or two, the fluorocarbon is probably still pretty damn good. With monofilament, if you rigged it a year or two ago, you're probably going to want to switch it out. And that, you always get, a little bit of chemicals out of the engines of the boats and stuff. So you're trolling. You've definitely seen, or at least I have, your leader material with monofilament become discolored if it's been trolling behind the boat a long time from, the residue that comes out of the engines. So knowing that fluorocarbon's chemical imperviance is one of its, in fact, that's why it was created, by the way.
Really?
Why?
It's chemical impervious.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they actually developed it, Crayhaw Corporation, which is Seagar's parent company, developed it, I believe, 40-some years ago because they were looking for something that was, would not be able to be broken down by chemicals.
Oh.
So I think they lined pipes in it. I think that's one of the first things they ever did with fluorocarbon is they'd line pipes when they were transporting chemicals through these pipes that wouldn't erode through the pipes.
Oh.
So it's chemical, it's pervious to chemicals is its really original thing, and then they figured out it had the same
really good.
The same refraction rate as water, so they were quickly on to the let's make some fishing line.
Because the Japanese like to fish.
They love
and
it.
Let's face it, it's sure not going to hurt anything. You know what I mean? Like it's got better abrasion, it's got all these things, and the one thing you know is it's certainly not going to be a negative on your trolling jig. So why not?
Exactly.
It's only 3 feet.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning, Bob in Sealing Valley. Just about 30 seconds left for you, Bob.
Well, you guys have talked about knots from going from the fluorocarbon to say, a braid line. What would you recommend as the best knot for actually tying to a hook?
San Diego Jam knot's the first one that comes to mind.
That's what I use.
I use the San Diego Jam, and I use nothing but Seagar when I'm doing those big fish trips up into about 100-pound. And then 100-pound, I like to tie that trilene knot, the
two-turn trilene.
2 loops through the knot, and then like 3 to 5 turns on the knot and then if I'm doing 150-pound Seagar Premier, I crimp it.
So there you go. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including who's got a giant bag of Seagar fluorocarbon. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Mighty 1090. When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
Rancho Leonero was awarded the Certificate of Excellence from TripAdvisor for 4 straight years. Especially interesting, most hotels are just hotels, and most people stay in the hotel and go do their activities elsewhere. Rancho Leonero, of course, provides fishing, diving, all activities, all meals, your whole vacation. So the fact that we're so highly rated, we're very proud of it. From picking you up at the airport to dropping you off, literally everything is turnkey from there. We make it as easy as we can for you at the ranch. From your meals to whether you're going to go fishing or diving or just hanging out by the pool. When you're coming to Rancho Leonero, you are coming to John Ireland's home. I guarantee the best fishing vacation experience in all of Baja. It's unique. There's nowhere that I could think of to get the same experience that you get at Rancho Leonero. Our new reservation phone number is 800-646-2252, 646-BAJA, and RanchoLeonero.com. It's really unique. It is. We're very proud of it.
Hey, this is Captain Paul Hebert from the Wicked Pisser. My brother Bruce and I make a living catching giant bluefin tuna. In fact, I wouldn't even go fishing with any other sunglasses than Maui Jim. Put a pair of Maui Jims on and instantly the glare is gone, the UV that can damage your eyes is gone, the ocean's true colors come shining through like never before. And with more contrast and clarity, you can see the bluefin at that critical time. Take it from me. Try a pair at your local tackle shop or check out MauiJim.com. You won't believe your eyes.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Padres are playing some kind of baseball.
San Diego's sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Right, the big winner of the full prize pack of Seagar fluorocarbon going to Tom in Temecula. Tom, congratulations. You are going to be so stoked when you open that bag of Seagar.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be loving that. Dale Hightower and Brian Evans from Seagar. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it very much. You guys do a great job. Great product. We're very proud to represent Seagar here on Let's Talk Hookup as our exclusive fluorocarbon leader. And and line and such like that. And you guys are going on the Red Rooster 3 with Captain Andy Cates tomorrow.
Yep, jumping on the boat in the morning. So
good for you guys.
Lucky guys.
Yep.
That's going to be fantastic. You're going to be using some cigar on there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exclusively.
All right.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, indeed. No. Well, if somebody wants more info on Cigar, Brian, great website, right?
Yep. Cigar.com.
You can link it right through the Let's Talk Hookup website, or just go right to cigar.com. They got the knot videos, the whole deal, everything you want to know about cigars.
You can also like us at Cigar on Facebook.
Okay.
And Fish Cigar on Instagram.
Fish Cigar on Instagram. All right, guys. Thanks. Good luck on your trip.
You guys.
And thank you for listening today. Don't forget, next Saturday we'll be at Dana Landing live in Mission Bay, right there next to the Dana Lawn Tramp for our San Diego County Ford dealer. Great live remote with the guys Steve Pinard and Johnny and the whole gang there from Dana Landing. They're going to have a great show down there. And then next Sunday, the guys from the Make-A-Wish Tuna Challenge will be here to talk about tuna fishing. You stay tuned now. Padre Baseball's next. The Padres are going to gaff the Marlins right here on the Mighty 1090.